Alrighty. All right. Welcome all viewers and supporters to season one of I Am Passionate's Passion and Purpose, where new conversations, real stories, God-centered inspiration meet leaders, visionaries, dreamers, and creatives. I am your host, Asiana M., and in today's episode, we will be covering passion in position. I am beyond grateful to introduce today's special guest, who is an amazing dancer, choreographer, creative genius, and author, Miss B. Jones. How are you doing today, girlie?
Hi, I'm doing great, actually. Doing pretty good today.
That is amazing. You're glowing. You look gorgeous, girl. Them
Thank you.
lashes, that lip. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. You're so welcome. Well, again, we're excited to have you on today's episode to talk about passion and position. You have had the honor to be in many amazing positions throughout your career as a dancer, and we're going to learn more about you today, okay?
Of
And
course.
so, our first question is something that I asked all of our special guests. We want to know, where are you? Where are you spiritually? Where are you mentally? What's kind of going on in your world currently?
Yes, so I would say at this stage of my life, I just got over a hump of having to have renewed faith. I feel like the past season that I just got over, it was the most faith I've ever had to use ever in my life. Typically, like when I was living in Los Angeles and booking jobs and stuff like that, that was a season where I was very faithful. But in the season that I am in now, I feel like my faith has been tested, but I've grown so much that now my faith is like, it's just it's a yes no matter what. Like my faith has grown and it's so much stronger than it's actually ever been in my life,
Wow.
for sure. Yeah, it's the strongest that it's ever been in my life.
Well, that's amazing. That's a great place to be. And as we know, that takes time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of
Maturity.
And so I'm glad that you're in a great space. We can't wait to hear about how you got to that faith, what it takes to keep that faith. Because girl, we're gonna need all the tips and nuggets. And so as I kind of mentioned, within your journey, you have had the amazing opportunity to work with legends such as K Camp, Flo Millie, Nicki Minaj, Drake. You have worked with Tyler Perry in regards to media. And so when you hear the phrase passion in position, what comes to mind for you?
For me, I think as far as passion, it's something that you've always wanted to do, and it's something that you don't have a plan B.
Hmm.
Like point blank period, this is my passion, this is what I want to do, this is what I feel is my purpose in life. So that's exactly what I feel passion is. Maybe that's how I felt back then. Right now I feel may feel a little different about it, but within my earlier years I felt like that's exactly what it was. No plan B. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is how I'm supposed to show up in the world and to inspire everyone around me.
Right. That's
So
beautiful. Yes.
mhm.
Passion is very important, and especially when it comes to just different positions that God grants you. One of the things that I've learned personally is that He has to trust you. It's not for the weak, and
Mhm.
literally to be in certain rooms, you have to elevate. And so I want to kind of take a glimpse back in time to little girl you.
Mhm.
Just take us down the journey of memory lane when it comes to where you found the love for dance, where you found the love for media. So that way we can kind of go down that lane with you and get to know you a little bit more better.
Of course. So I actually started dancing when I was 6. My mom, I had my first audition when I was 6 too, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, so I auditioned for it was called Texas Children's Choir, and what we did was we pretty much danced around the Metroplex. So we danced at malls, we danced at events, festivals. So I did that when I was 6. And then after that, I went into a dance studio. And
Mm.
that's when I started doing competitive dance. So I've been in dance competitions since I was 6 years old. Once I got to about middle school, I auditioned for the Russian ballet. So I've been auditioning for like big productions at Dallas Majestic Theater. I got 2 roles there. And I was also dancing on a kids halftime team for a basketball.
Wow.
It was like a D League basketball team, but we had to audition for that too. So I've been auditioning for a very long time. From there, I that was middle school. So we did the competitions, the halftime shows, and then once I got to high school, I got into a really bad car accident in the 8th grade, so I had to stop dancing for a year because
Mm.
I had to relearn how to walk and all these things. So I took a break in 9th grade, and then 10th grade I tried out for something called Sundancers, which is drill team there. So I was actually the first Black lieutenant in the history of my high school to become a lieutenant. So I was lieutenant there, and then I graduated high school, went to New York, studied music, dance theater. So that was all styles of dance, musical theater, singing. I studied in New York for about a year, and then I realized I don't want to do Broadway right now. I feel like I'll retire doing Broadway, but I wanted to do more commercial work. So after a year, I transferred to the LA campus, graduated from the LA campus, and then the rest is history. I pretty much just worked my butt off until I booked my first job 3 years later.
Nice. Wow. So it definitely sounds like God really got started right away in your life. Like you hit
Mhm.
the ground running and you're still taking off. You're still doing amazing things. So congratulations to you. That
Thank
is
you.
awesome. Awesome. Take us to a moment, right? When it comes to being a dancer, there's so much requirements for like competition and how you look and
Mhm.
you even carry yourself for auditions and stuff. What helps you stay connected with God during moments like that? Because there's a lot of momentum in the industry, and a lot of transitioning. And so,
Mhm.
kind of take us down that lane into what keeps your confidence in God during moments like that.
Mhm. So early in the game, as a dancer, I didn't understand how the industry worked. At the end of the day, it's a business, right? And how you show up is a business is your business card. So I was auditioning for about 3 years straight, and I was about to quit. And
Mm,
I was like, okay, God, it's been 3 years. I've been in LA. And this was my first like real, not real encounter, but like as an adult, because I'm 19 years old. So I know God and church at home, but now we're talking about by myself living in LA.
mm,
So I was like, I'm just, if I don't get, I'm just about to quit. Like, God, show me a sign. If I don't get an agent, I'm just going to go back home. So I was doing, it's like a dance web series that I did back in the day. And before I went to set that day, I had prayed and I was like, God, just show me a sign today because I'm this close, literally this close. And it's always when you're this close when he does the big thing, which is crazy. Still to this day, I'll be this close and God be like, girl.
mm.
So I went to set that day and we did this whole thing. And one of the girls were like, hey, are you signed? I'm like, no, I'm actually not signed. But I've been auditioning. Like I go to every audition, I help people in the auditions, but I still can't get signed. She's like, oh, okay, I'm going to refer you to my agent so you can get signed. And I was like, okay. Okay, God, I see what we're doing here. And that was the first like thing that happened in the dance industry where I was like really close to giving up and God showed me like it's perfect timing. Because before then, I didn't have my look together. I was a little not chunky, but I was a little chunky considered in LA.
Mm.
Um, I was changing my hairstyles. I didn't have my look together. But when I did that series, I had just got my first sew in. You know, LA is very typical. I had just got my first sew in. I was kind of trying to finding my look, and I finally got signed.
Mm.
So from there, that's when it was just like, okay, I'm meant to be here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Wow. Wow. Perfect timing and alignment. So important.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing story because it is right when you're about to get up. God is like, uh-huh, yeah, I got you where I want
Every
you. Just
time.
still. Yes, that is awesome. So I would love to. actually hear more about the shift from being the professional dancer who has an agent and is booking gigs to transitioning to becoming a choreographer, creative director, because
Mhm.
it's definitely more of a leadership position. You have the opportunity to now give other dancers who were once in your position opportunities. And so I would love to just kind of hear your experience with that, um,
Mhm.
because there's room for everybody. And everyone, of
Mhm.
course, wants to do commercial work and dance. But I just love the fact that within your story, you were able to shift up position. So can you tell us
Yeah,
more about that?
of course. So it started actually when I was about 22. So one of the casting directors in LA that used to always book me, um, he would always ask for girls. And so I would always help him just refer my friends or something like that. That was just me helping out. And so I built a relationship with him by just helping out, him always hiring me, stuff like that. In the midst of that, while also being on set, I would just network. And I also got the opportunity to learn how to be second assistant director. So, which nobody really knows that about me, but because I don't post those accolades, but I've been second assistant directing commercials, music videos since I was like 22, 23. So just being on sets, forming those relationships and people actually being able to trust me. It's and it's all about who you know. It's all about who you know, but it's also can they trust you and with doing the work and can you keep it professional? So I've been just helping out since I was pretty much serving, helping people without getting paid, didn't care for the recognition. I would just like helping people. I like putting money in people's pockets, helping people's dream come true. That's what it was. And so in 2020, when I got pregnant, the casting director actually reached out to me and asked me, I know you're in transition, you're about to be a mom. Do you want to just get hired to actually be in position over the dance? Oh, wait, this is casting. You said choreographer. I do a lot of
We
things.
can
I'm
talk
sorry.
about both, actually.
I'm gonna mention it all, but casting first. In 2020, I got pregnant. He reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to be in charge of the dance department of the casting company? Mind you, this is a really big casting company for LA, New York, Miami. It's probably one of the biggest casting companies in America." So I end up working for him. So that's how, when I was pregnant, I still was able to make money because I was helping them cast in everywhere, Miami, Atlanta, New York, LA. I was on Instagram just living, finding talent because that's what it's about nowadays. It's finding talent on Instagram.
Mhm.
So that's how I was able to get into casting and eventually start getting paid for it by helping him. And then now everyone just reaches out to me like, hey, can you help me with girls? Because they know that, I help with talent now.
Mhm.
As far as choreography, it's really crazy because I was just thrown into it, honestly. Like, I would get hired on a job and they would just be like, can you be the choreographer on set? And we would just make up the routine on set and then we would do it. That's why, and then I could hire whoever I want, or they would end up getting booked. But we were so professional, and I was so professional that I could get it done on set, and then it would come out. For instance, I did a Gunna music video. I made up the choreo in about 30 minutes, taught it to them, and then we had to go on set.
Hey,
So Millie, we actually did have rehearsals. We only had one rehearsal, but that was just, hey, you want to be choreographer on this? So that's what led me to kind of like into choreography. I never was like, oh, I want to be a choreographer. It was more so just like, hey, you want to do this? And then like on Instagram, I was always making up Instagram dance videos. So I guess it was a natural thing. And then Camp called me and was like, hey, you want to choreograph my tour? I was like, sure. So it kind of just like flowed just by, like I said, serving and helping people. And then they'll call me back. So
right, right. That's amazing. That is awesome. The alignment in your journey is really inspirational, right? Like, what I would love for you to talk about is in order for you to get these opportunities, to build relationships, to build trust, it takes you being a specific kind of person.
mhm.
What experience, what mentor moment with God has really helped you stay and maintain being that person. Because
Hmm.
you've done some incredible things and you're just sitting here like, yep, I did this and I did that. And everyone's just like, how can I do it? So tell
Hmm.
us like exactly what you did personally and also give us some nuggets on what we can do personally to align with said opportunities and stuff.
Hmm. I honestly think it's all about etiquette. And
Mm,
I don't think they teach that anymore. I think this generation of dancers, from experience, the etiquette is completely gone. And it's because I don't know why, but maybe it's this Instagram era. But I grew up in an era where um, you just couldn't do certain things, you know. Um, you always wanted to be respected. You wanted to be trustworthy. You wanted to be on time, show up early. You wanted to make sure that you'll get the job done. Nowadays, it's tricky.
mhm.
I think, and then also I went to college and they taught us audition etiquette. They taught us rehearsal etiquette. So I kind of was a little bit ahead of the game once I got into the industry. And then I did have mentors in college that eventually led to the industry mentor, which eventually led me to my first gig with Nicki Minaj. And I feel like the training that I did with the old heads kind of gave me the the etiquette that I needed to maneuver in the industry and still be respected. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's something that you have to learn through a mentor or something, but a lot of people nowadays are just doing what they feel because you can easily access the artist on Instagram or you can access whoever, so you feel like it's free game when it's like we didn't grow up like that. Well, we didn't, we weren't trained like that. So
Yeah, times are definitely different. I mean,
they're
everyone
so
dances
different.
on TikTok. Everyone does. To me, everybody can dance at this point because,
Oh
well,
yeah, for
TikTok
sure.
dance.
Yeah.
So, yeah, times have changed, but there are still dancers out there who want that kind of training and want
Hmm.
those kinds of experiences, but I guess are may feel stuck and may feel a lack in regards to I'm needing to go here and I'm needing to go here and what to follow. Um,
Hmm.
if you were to put yourself in a dancer's now in today's world, in our
Hmm.
shoes, what would be some kinds of things that we can look into or to work on in order to keep etiquette, make the right relationships, whether it be use social media? What are some tools that are still able to be utilized today?
I honestly think it would be hanging with the right people or searching for a mentor
Hmm.
that can mentor you in the dance industry, because nowadays there's so many mentorships. You have access to people now. So all you have to do is DM someone or, ask questions. This is a day and age where we have access to everyone. So I feel like you shouldn't be scared to maybe DM someone or ask questions or ask for advice because it's at the palm of your hands. Versus back then, it had to be an in-person thing, to encounter any kind of mentorship. But nowadays, there's so many mentorships that you could just search for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
good. Good, good. So it's really just using your surroundings and being intentional. That's what it
Yeah,
sounds like. Cool.
exactly. Who you want to work for. When you figure out who you do want to work for, who are those dancers, you know, trying to, because when I first moved to LA, I got signed, but my agents were like, well, you're just going to have to go network because nobody knows you. So nobody's really going to hire you.
Mhm.
So what I did, I went to all the dance events. I networked. I did free YouTube so people can see me on YouTube. I did free showcases. I did so many things for free at first so I can get my name out there and I can make those connections. So then when I am asked, for an audition, it makes sense. So for any new dancers, I would say it's kind of hard in Dallas.
Mhm.
It's it's almost uh, I don't want to say impossible because nothing is impossible, but I feel like if you're in Dallas and you're a dancer and you want to be a dancer, I feel like find a good teacher, which eh, in Dallas is kind of hard. Um, but train
Hmm.
and post yourself or, save up to move to LA.
Right.
That's my biggest thing. Sometimes you just have to move
Mm,
and just with faith, just move and make it happen. Because just even me living in Dallas now, I'm like, ugh, there's no dance presence out here at all.
hmm.
Like I could see like, dance studios, etc. But industry wise, there's nothing. And I feel like we low key need like an intensive for like dancers that are actually serious
Yeah.
about becoming, professional dancers. Um, if they're really serious about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for saying that. We actually have a widespread of audience that are from small communities that are always looking for opportunities, whether it's in their environment or outside of their environment. And it really does take faith to move and get into those rooms. And that reminder was just so much needed. I want to tap into your casting lens. So put on
Mhm.
your casting hat and tell us about some things that, as dancers, performers, or even as people, that we tend to overlook when it comes to auditioning or being in certain rooms, right? Because the positions you have been in, of course, there's trust. People know that you can handle the work, but there's often something about you personally that people identify and want to continue to work with. As
Mhm.
someone in a casting position, what are some do's and don'ts that are easily overlooked in these positions, and also some things to be more intentional about when you're in said rooms?
Mhm. So as far as casting, I can tell you what I look for first. And I'm going to say this, but it was told to me in the beginning too. We go by photos. We
Hmm.
do go by photos. And back when I first started, the casting director would be like, I want to hire you, but you need new photos. Like you need photos of yourself. So I know a lot of people they post their dance videos, etc., but we want to see, photos as well. So that's the first thing that we usually go to is photo. What do you look like? From there, I would say being very transparent and knowing how to communicate, being professional on set because I don't, but the one of the casting directors they do pop up on set, and then being reliable,
Mm.
responding on time, being on time to set, making sure that you're checking everything the day before, etc., and not being thirsty.
Mm.
The don'ts is nowadays the girlies are thirsty to be next to the artist, and it's like what's happening if I was to ever do that back in my day I would get fired.
Hmm.
And I think dancers are kind of taking it, certain people aren't taking it as a business.
Hmm.
So I would say the don'ts would be, not getting too comfortable around who you're working around because it's still business.
Yeah.
And you don't want to cut your opportunities because you're being starstruck or you're being thirsty or you feel like you have to do whatever you can to stay in this position. It typically doesn't work like that. We feel that, we know that, and you probably won't get hired again. So it's more so like your intentions, like can you carry yourself around these type of people, so those would be my don'ts as far as, getting casted and getting casted again.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I love how you're consistently bringing up the business aspect because that is not talked about enough. It's kind of like you have it or you don't, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the dancing is like train, 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 and content, content. But then when you meet them, it's like, wait, who are you?
Yeah.
Can you hold a conversation? Can you pitch yourself? That's something
Hmm.
that I've learned. It's like you got to pitch yourself, but also know when to talk. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
I know you're excited, but kind of keep your cool. And so, yeah, those are great nuggets. And so, again, with your experience with dance, creative directing, casting, and with media, we would love to just hear about an experience, whether it be a live show, a TV show, tour, like some of your best moments with said artists. I'm really interested on who is your favorite. What is an experience you won't ever forget?
Yes. So let's talk about being a professional for a little bit because I feel like another reason why I've gotten hired so much because I'm a professional. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you two things, two jobs that really more, but I'll tell you just these specific two where it was like, okay, pull up. So the first one was when I got booked for the Nelly tour in 2015, I believe. Yeah, 2015, I went on tour with Nelly. So I auditioned. We had a big audition in LA. I auditioned for the tour and I got cut.
Mm,
Cool. So I went home. I'm like, okay, didn't book the tour. A couple weeks later, I get a call from, or I get a DM in my messages from someone who graduated the same college that I graduated from, AMDA. And they're like, hey, we want you to be on Nelly's tour. And I was like, wait, what? Okay, cool. They fly me out probably the next day. I had to learn the tour in like 3 days. The
mm.
full tour in 3 days, no mirrors. They flew me to my hotel and I had to learn the whole tour in like this conference room and on video.
Oh, wow.
Mind you, this is my first tour ever. And just for, reference, like when you go on tour, you're in rehearsals for like 4 weeks before you go on road.
Hmm.
Like you're in rehearsals for a good month before you go on the road. So I had 3 days to learn this. And being that this is my first tour, I was like, my goodness, like I was under so much pressure. But that instance made me kill the tour. It went amazing. I ended up getting a solo, all of these things. And that made me realize, wow, like you are a professional. This is what you've been training for your whole, your whole time of training. This is my first tour. Every dancer wants to go on tour. So once I accomplished that, I was like, wow, I can really accomplish anything because if I learned a full tour in 3 days, oh, it's giving professional, it's giving you, we can hire you and you can learn it same day and get the show done.
Hmm.
So another instance, which is absolutely my favorite job that I've ever done, was with Drake. God is, man, God is crazy. Like, so I do this thing called vision boards, right? And every year I put who I want to work with, the choreographer, the specific stage, right? So this year on my vision board, I put Drake's choreographer, I put a picture of him, and I put a picture of the stage, right?
Mm.
Mind you, Drake already has dancers. He was on tour last year, but I was like, God, this is what I want this year. Cool. I end up getting hired for the Millennium Tour. I was in rehearsals for them for probably a good 3 weeks. And I was getting ready to leave for tour the next day. Literally, the next day, I'm running errands, trying to get all my tour stuff ready, starting to pack because I'm headed to the Millennium Tour tomorrow. While I'm doing all of these things, I get an email from Tanisha Scott, which is Drake's choreographer. And she's like, hey, are you available? And I'm like, I can be.
Right.
But who is it for? Cardi B? Because that she was choreographing for Cardi B at the time. So in my head, Drake already has dancers. So I'm like, is it for Cardi B? She's like, no, it's for Drake. I said, absolutely. So I end up booking the tour and I booked two tours in one time. So what I did, I end up hiring my friend and was like, hey girl, do you want to go on the Millennium Tour? I'll send you a flight to fly out tomorrow because tour starts tomorrow. She's like, yeah. So I flew my friend out to whatever city the Millennium Tour was on, and she was able to do her first tour. And I went overseas with Drake. Great. That's the great part of the story. The second part of the story, we're on a 360 stage where we're performing this way, that way, and that way. There's no just performing straight. I had to learn the whole tour in a dressing room in like 5 days. And on top of that, we learned new numbers.
Mm.
So it was only two new girls on the tour. The other girls were pretty much on the tour already. So me and the other girl had to learn the tour um, in the dressing rooms, but really I was the only new one because the other girl, she had already danced with Drake before. She just had a baby and so she was back. So this is really my first time ever hearing or seeing any of this choreography. Learned it in 5 days in the dressing room and did the show and was on tour for 3 months. And so that was probably one of the best experiences, most stressful, but best experiences of my life. And that's the thing with dancers. We could post our class videos all the time, but when it comes down to the pressure of getting a show done, can you pull up and will you make it happen?
Right.
So again, I think that's why just my longevity in the industry of just like being professional and pulling up when I need to and learning quickly and learning fast is what got me so far, for
Yeah.
sure.
And that's pretty far. That is pretty far. That is so amazing. And it's just the alignment, the elevation, it's just so inspiring. And I could just see your aura and just your excitement of those being past experiences, but really being trusted opportunities again from God, from someone he's had auditioned since
Hmm.
middle school. He's had you early.
Yeah.
He was training you early on, girl. And so I know that within your career, I know that you had released a book. You are now a mother. I would
Mhm.
love for you just to kind of talk to us about motherhood. How has that been with just being able to be a professional and then shifting into being a parent? That has to be a new position in an exciting time. And so we would love for you just to touch on it.
Yes, of course. Well, being a mommy is awesome. My daughter is about to be 5 next Saturday. And it's still like, wow, I've been a mom for 5 years. Like, this is crazy. Um, Definitely changed me for the better. I've elevated a lot mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And so I'm very grateful for
Mhm.
that. I feel like it was very much needed, just in my life in general. I've gained a lot of wisdom, lots of wisdom from becoming a mom. And I feel like I'm more compassionate as a person. And I don't know if it's because the unconditional love. So now I feel like I low-key can kind of show everyone unconditional love. But it has made me become so compassionate. And nowadays, I just understand everyone's story. Like, I'm not judgmental at all. It's always like, okay, well, where does that stem from? Like we have to understand why behind the action. Even if the action is not so good, what is the why behind it?
Mhm.
Just so we can even if it's bad, I like to understand, the why behind it. So that was not there before. Before I was just like, absolutely not. But now I'm a little bit more understanding, which I love so much. But motherhood has been absolutely amazing. It's been great. I love being a mom. And I'm like so creative outside of just dance. I'm actually really creative with my hands. Like I like working with my hands. I love doing art. So like I'm actually so excited about kindergarten. I'm excited to be doing projects. That's like my favorite thing to do is the projects. So it gives me like another outlet to be creative in that way. And it also is healing the little girl in me
Yeah.
because the things that I do with my daughter, I used to do, or like the things that I do with my daughter is things that I like to do when I was younger. So it's bringing like that childlike feeling back in me to where it's like, oh, I miss this outside of like being in the industry and doing all the industry stuff. It kind of is just like a breath of fresh air where you can just sit and like be grateful and be thankful for the small things and like being present in the moment and
Right.
not always having to, what am I working on next? It's like, chill. We're at the park today and like we went to the park yesterday and I was just sitting there like, oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus. Like, this is so peaceful. I'm not worried about my next job. I'm not worried about this. I'm literally just present with my daughter playing and seeing her happy and fulfilled. Sometimes I just stare at her like, oh wow, this is like the greatest feeling ever. So yeah, motherhood has been really, really good.
That is beautiful. Yeah, the simple moments are always the most impactful. And your
Hmm.
daughter is absolutely gorgeous. She's
Thank
into
you.
dance as well, right?
Yes. Well, she did competitive cheer when she was 3. She did competitive cheer 3 to 4, and so now she's doing ballet and tap this
Right.
year because she's like, I don't want to do cheer. I want to do dance. I'm like, okay, you're
Yeah.
definitely my daughter.
Look, at the age of 5, getting her started already.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
That is awesome. And I had mentioned your book. Can you touch
Mhm.
on that? I know it was a couple years back, I believe.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that experience, and where we can find it?
Yes. So, as far as my book, the why behind it was I actually went through postpartum depression really bad when I first had my daughter. Now, it's a 30-day journal, which when I was living in LA, I think maybe 22, 21, I started journaling, and I still have all my journals to this day. So I started journaling, and it actually helped me a lot mentally, just getting through stuff that I was going through in LA, from the industry to personal things. I just always wrote in my journal every day. And so, which it helped me heal a lot,
Mhm.
even in LA. Like anytime I experience just negative things, even good things, like good things as well, I would just pray to God and write in my journal every day. And so once I had my daughter, I went through postpartum depression really bad. And like I said, that was the time where I felt like I had to have the most faith I've ever had in my life. Like I was depending on God so much. I was like, wow, God, I've never depended on you this much ever in my life. And that's why I say everything happens for a reason, because I think God needed to take me through that season to depend on him more than ever so my faith can be stronger now today. So when I wrote the journal, it's a 30-day self-help journal. It's pretty much based off everything that I've been doing for years. And so when I created my own, I everything I created on Canva, it's personalized. And I was just like, I want to release something that's helped me that can help other people, because a lot of the times people don't write stuff down,
Mhm.
or people keep their thoughts in their head. And I feel like it was a great tool to just, reset for 30 days. After 21 days, you could break a habit, etc. So just 30 days of just focusing, tapping in, and writing your thoughts down. So that's how that came about. And I was like, I'm going to drop a journal because I feel like it's dear to my heart because I've been journaling for years.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's actually a great idea because the power of writing things down,
Correct.
it works for me. So that's amazing. And it's on Amazon. What other
Mhm.
platforms?
Oh, so it's actually just on Amazon right now. And then obviously the link in my bio on my Instagram.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
All right. And so we've covered just your journey in regards to being a dancer, choreographer, being on tours, being a casting agent, and all of these amazing things. And most importantly, being a mother. All right.
Mhm.
It's been an awesome opportunity to be able to hear all of that. We're probably going to have you on for another episode, girl.
Of course.
One is just not enough because this is so good. But I definitely want to give you the opportunity to tell our audience where they can find you. And also, if there's anything that you have coming up, whether that be workshops, because I know you had said Dallas needs a little bit more things. There
Mhm.
for a reason, girl. So let us know what we can look forward to.
Hmm. Well, you can find me on Instagram at B_Jones 6. That's typically where I'm at most of the time. Facebook, of course, Brittania Jones, but no one's really on Facebook anymore. TikTok, I'm really not on there. I should be on there. I got locked out of my original one. So my other one is, I forget, like Brittania Jones 6 or something like that. Right now, I'm not working on like any workshops or anything like that. My knees are hurting right now. but we're getting there. I did just recently work on set, second assistant director for a commercial that I can't say just yet. But honestly, I'm just staying afloat, um, trying to work on more things creatively. This year has been um, more focused on me and my daughter, and I want to start my YouTube again. So I think everyone should be on the lookout for a few vloggy vlogs.
Yes.
Of
Oh, I
course.
love a good vlog. I love a good vlog. Well, we
Yes.
absolutely look forward to everything that you have coming up. Congratulations on everything. We really, really appreciate you coming on. I am Passionate's Passion and Purpose. Again, everyone, we talked about passion and position. And again, follow our girl so that way we can subscribe to YouTube, get more books, journal, and all of that. And so that concludes today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.